Tonight, I invite you to step into the foggy streets of Manchester, a city alive with stories, bustling with life, but shadowed by struggle. Amid its cold December nights, behind the quiet corners and bustling squares, lies a truth we often look away from. Homelessness in England has risen by 26% in the past 5 years. It's not just a number, it's lives like Aaron's, battling for warmth, shelter, and dignity. It's 7 p.m. and the air is damp with winter fog. Aaron, 34, sits huddled on a street corner in Manchester city centre. His clothes, worn and soiled, tell of the night spent braving the cold. His teeth, decaying, are a reminder of years on the streets, while his hands, stained with dirt, reach out in quiet desperation. 17, he murmurs, his voice barely audible over the hum of the city, just enough for a hostel tonight. Aaron's story is one of many, a microcosm of a greater crisis. Rough sleeping, the most visible form of homelessness, affects around 9,000 people in England on any given night. But beyond these visible struggles, a staggering 354,000 people are without a home. The past 5 years have seen this number swell, despite pledges and programmes aimed at reversing the tide. In Manchester, hope and hardship intertwine. Andy Burnham, the Labour mayor since 2017, has made tackling homelessness a priority. Progress is visible. Rough sleeping in Greater Manchester fell by 24% last year, thanks in part to initiatives like A Bed for Every Night, which offers 550 emergency beds. Yet, for every life this program touches, there are countless others slipping through the cracks. Take Anul, a 29-year-old asylum seeker from Sudan. After enduring 18 months in limbo, waiting for his asylum approval, he faced eviction from Home Office accommodation within 28 days. Suddenly homeless, he now sleeps in a tent near iconic City Hall. His situation highlights the intersection of housing instability and immigration policies, a reminder that the systems designed to provide sanctuary often leave people stranded instead. Homelessness doesn't exist in isolation. It's a web of housing shortages, systemic inequalities, and personal tragedies. Bobby, a 50-year-old former construction worker, knows this all too well. When his mother passed away, Bobby lost the housing association bungalow they shared. He now calls the streets home, caught in the relentless cycle of unaffordable rents and capped benefits. The broader housing market exacerbates these challenges. In just 5 years, the number of families in temporary accommodations like B&Bs and hotels has risen by 43%. And while Manchester has introduced measures like a good landlord charter to curb evictions, such efforts can only do so much in the face of rising demand and insufficient supply. And then there's the human side, the complex needs that intertwine with homelessness. A quarter of those assessed as homeless struggle with mental health issues. Others are survivors of domestic abuse, fleeing relationships that left them with no safe place to turn. For many, like Bobby, the waiting lists for social housing stretch endlessly into the future. 90,000 families in Greater Manchester alone, 1.3 million across England. There is, however, a glimmer of hope in the form of promises. Mayor Burnham has pledged 10,000 truly affordable homes by 2028. The government speaks of 1.5 million new homes during this Parliament's term, though the specifics of affordability remain unclear. Still, for those waiting in the cold, hope feels fragile. Yet, amid the struggle, resilience shines. Aaron, Anil, and Bobby each hold on to a quiet optimism. It's not the kind of hope that expects miracles, but the kind that finds strength in human connection, a warm meal, or even a kind word from a stranger. Deborah Garvey from Shelter puts it starkly: the doors to decent housing remain firmly shut for too many. Opening those doors will require not just promises, but sustained action, innovative solutions, and compassion that extends beyond policy and into the heart of communities. As I leave you tonight, I ask, how will we respond to these stories? Will we walk past them cloaked in the fog of indifference? Or will we take a step forward, offering not just a helping hand, but a renewed determination to tackle homelessness at its root? Because behind every statistic, there's a story. Behind every foggy street corner, there's a person longing for a place to call home.